Greetings, all my friends. I just want to let you know Father Leo here again. And we know that school is going to open, and teachers and staff and students and everybody be going back to school. And you're just kind of wondering what it's like for people. Now, the adults will have lots of opportunity to make their concerns known, but a lot of the students won't have an opportunity. And so I have a wonderful guest today. I've known her mother, Ann, very well. We did a lot of work together, didn't we? Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. And Devin Mahoney, she's here today, and she's going into grade 12. And we're just going to let her tell us what it's like for a young person, a student, heading back to school based on what she heard. So, Devin, I welcome you today.
Thank you for having me.
Nice to have you here. Yeah, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're glad to be here.
Yeah.
Okay, Devin. And that's all we want to do, Devin, is to the extent that you want to, you'll be heading back to school, I guess, sometime in September?
Yeah, the 14th. No.
First week of September?
The 14th, so the second, or the third week, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And now, most years I would ask you, are you looking forward to going back to school? Now, I ask you this year, and I'm wondering what you're going to say when I say, Devin, how do you feel about going back to school?
It's a bit complicated.
Good.
Because I think I'm like, maybe, I'm excited to kind of like see a new routine and get back into a normal routine-ish.
Normal routine.
But yeah, I'm a bit nervous about what the new school year and how different it's going to be and everything, and how much work it may be. So yeah.
Have you talked to any of your friends and how they feel about going back to school, and what are they saying?
Well, a few of my friends are actually choosing to stay home and do it online, either because they have living with someone who's at risk, or like they don't feel comfortable going back yet. So, and then my other friends who may be doing harder classes are, I think, a bit stressed about the one class a day thing and how much work it may put on them.
Mm-hmm. So they have some concerns,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. What is your biggest concern?
I think just staying in the one classroom the whole day and having so much of the same subject and the same work all day.
So when you go to school, you'll stay in the same classroom all day?
Yes. Yeah.
And I'm a little confused. How will you take different subjects if you're in one classroom all day? Does the teachers come and go, or what?
So it's actually one subject a day.
One subject?
Yeah. So I have, my first semester, I have philosophy and indigenous studies.
Uh-huh.
So on Monday, I'll take philosophy for the whole day.
Oh, yes.
And then Tuesday, I'll take indigenous studies for the whole day. So like 9 to 2:25.
So you take one subject, but all day long instead of over a week?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, and how do you feel about that?
That I think is what makes me a bit nervous, is like the one subject and the workload that comes with that.
Yeah. Do you think you get kind of bored staying with the one subject all day long?
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
I think I would find that kind of boring,
Yeah.
because you like the variety of things, eh?
Yeah.
And also you won't move out of your classroom.
Yeah.
So how do you get into the school? Does 1,000 students just come in, or how do you get into the school?
I'm actually not sure. I don't think that we've been told that yet.
Oh, I see.
Which is, I think, another thing that I think a lot of teachers and all students are really in the dark about a lot of things, which I think causes a lot of stress going back as well, that we're just unsure of everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's going to be pretty hard to stagger. There's, what, around 1,000 students at the St. Pete's?
Yeah, I think 1,200.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's pretty hard to stagger them. one at a time.
Yeah.
And the same thing at the end of the day.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, at the end of the day. Now, knowing what you're doing, and knowing the reason for it because of the virus, how does that impact you, knowing that it's a virus? Well, just everyday living here during the summer before you go back to school.
Like the change or, like, sorry, what do you mean?
But you've noticed you don't have the freedom you used to have.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, it's been hard. It's, like, gotten easier, obviously, with, like, extended, like, social bubbles and everything.
Yeah.
And I would say that, like, we're really lucky in Peterborough to not be so, like, you know, as, like, still have so many cases of the States and still be so locked down as the States. I think we're really lucky to be here where, like, there's not as many limitations, but I think it's still hard to be kind of, like, still a bit isolated. And then especially, like, when we go back to school, when it's just going to be, like, the one classroom, you don't really get to see your friends all day. I think that will be harder.
Yeah. Well, I would think so, because I know myself living here, it's almost like being in a prison.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And then you think, well, I'm going to go out, but where can you go?
Yeah,
You know, that's the feeling I get.
for sure.
Yeah. So given that virus, and you've heard about it, you know all about it, what kind of fear do you take to school with you, given that the virus is a very severe illness, and do you worry about getting it, or do you feel you're got a strong immune system that'll protect you?
Well, I know that, like, I've done as much as I can to be safe myself, but I think, like, as young people, sometimes we do think we're invincible, and a lot of people, like, I think in, like, high school, like, are very irresponsible with that and have been very irresponsible, so that also kind of makes me a bit nervous that, like, so many people are not being safe, and then, like, all coming back to the same school, it just puts a lot of people in jeopardy, I think.
Yeah. So you're aware that not all the students are playing it safe,
Yeah.
wearing masks, 6 feet apart, gathering with a bunch of people. You must know all that.
Yeah.
And does that concern you?
Yeah, a bit.
A
Yeah,
bit, eh?
definitely. Yeah.
Uh-huh. And does it ever come home to you that there's a real risk to you?
Yeah, for sure. Like, yeah, it just kind of worries me, the amount of people in our school that, like, can be very irresponsible.
Yeah. But have they made it clear to you about all the protocols that'll be in place for students?
Not really. The only thing I really know for, like, safety-wise is that we just have to wear masks all day. But I'm not sure about, like, distancing or anything like that. They haven't told us about anything like that.
Yeah. How many students will be in your class?
I think about, like, 25 to 30.
Holy mackerel.
Yeah.
So given the size of the class numbers, you won't be able to do much by the way of social distancing,
Yeah, for sure.
you know? And so, does that concern you?
Yeah. Yeah, I think even just being there will, I think, cause a lot of stress for a lot of people, just, like, because people are now so, like, if people are being careful, the people who want to be careful are now so used to being 6 feet apart for everyone and, like, keeping distance, and so I think that's going to stress a lot of people out, being so close to everyone in the classroom.
Yeah. Have you, some of the friends you've talked to and students you know, have some of your fellow students decided they're not going to go back to school?
Yeah, a few, definitely. I have a few friends because of, like, maybe their parents or, like a sibling's at risk, like, their health. So if they ever got COVID, like they wouldn't be able to come back from it, so they have to stay home because like they're so high risk. And then some of my other friends maybe just like can't take the stress of going back and just want to do it at home. So that's
Yeah. Now I know that in the beginning, at the end of your school year, you had online courses, online
Yeah.
learning. What was that like for you?
I didn't find it like that difficult. I thought that that was like a very good option and a very good like thing for them to put in place. I think they may need to like make some changes if it was like going to be long term, because I know it was kind of like last minute that they put it together, but it was definitely, I think, like efficient, and I liked it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But thinking to myself as a student, I think I'd have it hard. I wouldn't have the self-discipline to stay with it all day. How was it for you?
That was my problem a lot too, especially with like math and stuff. That was my problem, but you know, I think that's a problem with a lot of people.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't mind online learning when I listen to a lecture for an hour,
Mm-hmm.
1 hour.
Yeah.
But then that's enough.
Yeah.
And I think I would find that really difficult.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it definitely was at times.
Yeah. Do you have that option in the fall?
Yes.
Oh, you do have that
Yeah.
option.
Mm-hmm.
So you could take your philosophy course online?
Yeah. So I don't think you get to like pick and choose though. I think it's either you stay at home and take your classes online, all of them,
Oh,
or
yeah.
you go back to school for the whole semester.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I'm just wondering how that would be but if you, for your friends that don't go back to school, what do you think of the idea of not going back? What will they be missing, if anything?
Yeah, I actually don't know, because I don't think there's much of a social aspect to school anymore, because it'll just be such like just one class a day. You don't really, if your friends aren't in that class, there's not really anything, anyone to socialize with. But I think that the only thing that they may be missing is just like getting back into a routine. Like you said, it's really hard to motivate yourself online sometimes, so I think that they might just be missing that kind of structure.
But even if you go back to school, you're not going to have much in the way of any kind of social activities. Sports are canceled, as I understand it.
Yeah.
And I suppose the other activities are all canceled?
Yeah, I think I think that's what's happening. That's what I've heard anyway.
So you'll just go to school, spend the day in the classroom, go home.
Yeah.
What do you think of that when you think ahead? What's it going to be like, do you think, for you?
I have been always like very involved with school activities, like student council and link crew and stuff. So I think that that'll be hard to just kind of like just be going to school for school and not for anything like fun that you choose to do.
Yeah.
And I think it'll also be hard for the grade 9s, because high school is such like a fun experience because of all those things, and they're not getting to experience that. And also because link crew isn't running, I think it'll be like maybe a harder transition for them from elementary school.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
But what do you think is going to be your most difficult aspect of this? What do you think most difficult for you going back?
I think for me personally, it's gonna be like the one subject the whole day.
The whole day?
Yeah.
Yeah, and that'll be for the whole semester?
Yeah, so we have, right now, we have quadmesters. So we have 4 semesters instead of 2. So we only have 2 classes for 2.5 months. And so it's like just alternating like back and forth for 2 months, 2 classes, and then like another 2 classes for 2.5 months, and so on.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
So, you're not telling me you're going to school for 2 days?
No, it's just, so Monday you'll have 1 class, Tuesday you'll have the other class, and then Wednesday the first class, and Thursday the second class, and Friday the other class.
So they just alternate?
Yeah.
Oh, I see, yeah. Yeah, well, I guess they gotta cover the material, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And what's your in the consent of your worry or concern or fear about the pandemic about yourself? How safe do you feel you'll be going to school?
I think that I just have to worry about myself, because like I can't, because I'm going back to school. That's a choice I'm making, and I know that I'm being as safe as I can. So I think I just have to worry about myself and try to like be as safe as I can, and maybe let other people make their own decisions. And everyone will be wearing masks, that like I know. So I think that I feel pretty like okay at the moment about it.
About it, eh?
Yeah, it's the only thing that's worrying is like the amount of people in a classroom.
Supposing some of your classmates are watching, what advice would you give them?
Honestly, to just like listen to what the professionals are saying, to social distance and wear masks, especially when we're going back to school, because it's such a risky thing to be doing, I think. So just to be as safe as possible, to keep everyone in the school safe and everyone around you safe.
Yeah, because do you find there's a bit of a range between some students who are hardly worried at all and others who are really almost falling off the edge of things because they're so worried?
Yeah, I think it's important to, you can't worry too much about it, because you'll go crazy with how worried you are. But I think you can't also just be stress free about it, because you have to be so safe. So I think you gotta be like in the middle about it.
And on a score of 1 to 10, 1 being low, where would you put yourself?
Maybe like a 7.
7?
Yeah.
Well, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
So you recognize there is a risk, but you've decided how you're going to take care of yourself.
Yeah.
And the school will have protocols in place also to help you do all this.
Yeah.
So I guess you're hopeful that between you as a student and the other students and the administration, that it will be safe for you.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, yeah. And from what you're saying, I think you expect to get more information from the school about how this is going to happen.
Yeah, I really hope so. By the time we go back to school, I hope they release more information, because as of now, I think we're all pretty in the dark about it.
Yeah. How do you get the information as a student?
I usually we watch like the as like the province, like Doug Ford will do like the interviews, and we watch those, and then if I miss something, like I'll just read it on the news and online and stuff.
Well, how about the PVNC website? Do they put this stuff on the website for you?
Actually, I'm sure that they do. Pardon?
You get emails.
I think we get emails about it.
Oh, you get emails?
Yeah, from
Oh, good.
from the
Yeah.
school board.
So they are communicating,
Yeah.
because that's a biggie.
Mm.
Yeah, but I get a sense from what you're saying that it's still a bit early, although school starts in what, a couple of weeks?
Yeah.
But you're still looking for more information?
Yeah, I think it's mostly just like how the day is going to look and what safety precautions we're going to take throughout the day. I think that's the only information that they have yet to give out to us.
Yeah. And how long is your school day gonna be? Is it 9 to 3, 9 to 4, 9 to 5, 9 to 2?
Yeah, it's around 9 to 2:25. 8:30. Yeah, 8:30 to 2:25.
8:38 till what?
2:25.
Oh, 3:45. It's gonna be a long day.
2:25.
Oh, 3.
Yeah.
Oh, so it's still a long day.
Yeah.
Still a long day, eh? And what do you think of the teachers who have to go in there every day and spend all this time with the students? Do you think they've got many concerns?
Yeah, I'm sure they do, like having to kind of monitor everything, because at this point, it's kind of, I think, it shouldn't be their responsibility, but I think it's kind of going to be their responsibility to make sure that everyone's like in check and distancing and like keeping their masks on and everything, so I think that's going to be kind of stressful for them.
Mm-hmm. But it's still, it's a big responsibility for teachers.
Yeah.
And principals, I think of principals who kind of have to oversee the whole school,
Yeah, for sure.
staff and students,
Mhm.
yeah. Gonna be kind of dicey.
Yeah.
Well, I think what we do is, let's hope and pray that the virus doesn't get in any of our schools.
Yeah.
You know, when you look at Peterborough, there hasn't been that much here.
Mhm.
So in a way, it's kind of safe, kind of.
Yeah.
Not totally, of course not, but it's kind of safe in a sense, because compared to other places, our numbers are very low, and so from that point of view, it should be good.
Mhm.
Well, our time is running out here, but I want to know anything else you want to add.
I think we covered it all.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I want to thank you for coming in.
Well, thank you for having me.
Well, it's great because, you know, I'll put this on my Facebook that you've been here. You know the video will go on my website,
Yeah.
and so it was all over the world.
Yeah.
So it really does, and so I really thank you for coming in, because I was fit to be tied where I was going to find a student to come in, and then Reg called me and said that you'd be willing to.
Yeah.
So I really, really appreciate you coming and speaking so openly about how it's going to be for you.
Yeah, no problem. It's a pleasure.
Yeah. So I thank you very much, and good luck to you. And I'm hoping and praying that all the students and all the staff at St. Peter's will be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, God bless.
Thank you.